Hey everyone, how you going? I hope you're doing well. Today, I just wanted to give you another Raging Thoughts video. Sam Witwer went on to the Rule of Two with Star Wars Theory and Collider. If you don't know who Sam Witwer is, he voiced Darth Maul in the Clone Wars animated series. Now, there's a couple of things that Sam Witwer did say. There is one particular thing that Star Wars Theory said. Now, these things really piss me off. Now, before I actually get into this, I just want to point out, I did like Star Wars Theory. I loved his lore videos. His content was excellent. The Last Jedi, he didn't like. The Rise of Skywalker, he likes it. And now his videos are just all about justifying why things are certain ways in The Rise of Skywalker and why it makes sense, which really doesn't make sense.
Make it make sense.
So on the Rule of Two, Sam Witwer was talking about the scenes that were taken out of the Clone Wars. Now, if you haven't seen, there was a couple of scenes from the most recent episode that were removed. I'll show you those clips here so that you can see what he's actually referring to. Now, I just want to thank Ryan from RK Outpost for actually keeping these, because after 5 years, Disney took them down, trying to maybe censor some stuff. You know, the torture and death scene here. You know, Disney can't have that. So let's just censor it and call copyright on anyone that uses it. I think it was out for about 5 years. And I think Ryan's right when I think it well and truly comes under fair use. So go for it if you want to shut down this for showing these images. Okay, let's get into a little bit of this interview. Now, there are two parts of this interview that I actually want to concentrate on. I will give you the first bit, and as we're going, we'll talk about it a little bit. And then I'll jump forward just a little bit. Now, I will put the entire clip that Star Wars Theory put out in the link below, in the description below. So if you want to go and check out the whole interview or the bit that he clipped out of it, you can, and go and check that out. So you've got a bit of context maybe. Not that it will make any difference.
Make it make sense.
Let's check this out.
So, you know, it's an interesting thing, especially with the new Clone Wars, and there had been story reels that were released for the Bad Batch, and that's changed, you know, since then. And it's interesting to see how some fans, they're turning to the dark side because they're sniffing out they're finding conspiracies where there are none, where it's literally, for example, this whole thing about Padme nose art on a gunship. That scene does not build off the new scene with Padme and Anakin. And the Padme and Anakin scene does not build off the nose art scene. You know, when you see them together in the cut, you're like, one's got to go, because you have this much time in the episode, and you have to create an impression that propels you forward in the story. And when you have 12 episodes to lead to our finale, which is a very, very eventful, very epic, huge finale with very specific story points, you can't have 2 points about Padme that undercut each other. It's got to be one or the other with a definite color that brings you through, that gives you momentum in a direction that brings Anakin into Revenge of the Sith, not a non sequitur about nose art. Now, if we had 2-3 seasons, you could put the nose art in another episode; it'd be fine. You know what I mean? Because it's a really funny scene. It's cute. They came up with both scenes.
I just want to stop it there because he mentions how much time they have in the episode. Now, I took some photos for us to have a look at the lengths of the first 3 episodes of season 7. The first episode we have here was 26 minutes. The next episode here was 25 minutes. And the next episode here, we have 20 minutes on the third one. So if there wasn't enough time to put these scenes into the movie, why is it then 5 minutes, 6 minutes shorter than the other episodes? There was plenty of time. Stop trying to justify this shit.
And you have to create an impression that propels you forward in the story. And when you have 12 episodes to lead to our finale, which is a very, very eventful, very epic, huge finale with very specific story points. You can't have 2 points about Padme that undercut each other. It's got to be one or the other with a definite color that brings you through, that gives you momentum in a direction that brings Anakin into Revenge of the Sith, not a non sequitur about nose art. Now, if we had 2-3 seasons, you could put the nose art in another episode; it'd be fine. You know what I mean? Because it's a really funny scene. It's cute. They came up with both scenes.
So he's basically just said there that if they were to make other episodes, they could still put this scene in, and it's a good scene and all of that sort of thing. Well, why take it out and why take it down off YouTube if that's the case? Like, you're saying there wasn't enough time in the episode, but yet there was plenty of time from previous episodes that we've watched, and this scene could go into another episode down the track. Do you hear what's going on here? It's just insane. Like, it's insanity.
But ultimately, they don't build on each other. The example I give is the scene with Luke constructing his lightsaber in Return of the Jedi.
Okay, I'm just going to skip forward here. He just relates it to the scene where Luke is constructing his lightsaber in the beginning of the Return of the Jedi. And then he goes on to say how if we had have seen that scene, it would have made the impact of the reveal of his green lightsaber less, or he sort of explains it like that. And I see what he's saying in that scene. It's fair enough too.
You guys, I have old cuts of Battlestar Galactica, I have old scripts, I have old cuts of Being Human episodes, and there are wonderful moments. And sometimes they're great, but then when you see them back to back with other moments, you're like, these two moments actually undercut each other. We got to pick one, and you cut a scene. Mm-hmm. So it's funny to me, though, that the fans...
Get ready for it. Listen out for what Star Wars Theory says here. He tries to finish the sentence for him. Just listen.
Their own, some of them, not obviously not all of them, Star Wars fans are very sweet, but there are people whose their own anger.
Agendas.
Agendas. Okay. Fuck you. As a fan, the only agenda that I have for Star Wars is I want good fucking Star Wars. That is the only agenda I have. Man. Oh, you're an idiot. How, like, the hypocrisy of it. Here's a saying for you. The over does speak loudest in accusation. Fucking idiot.
They're whatever is going on in their life is being channeled hardcore into these things. And they're seeing conspiracies and censorship where there just isn't any. It's just the filmmaking process. And they're getting what I would love is for people to look at that filmmaking process and become interested by it and be like, man, I'd like to do that, rather than that's the way it was and they're changing the intent. Be like, dude, it's not the intent until it comes out.
Right.
And if you don't understand that these two moments undercut each other, maybe that's why you have a different job and Dave has that job.
Okay, so I'm just going to end it there. You can go on and watch this whole thing, but man, they get rid of these scenes. Why? If there's no agenda, like their own agenda, Star Wars Theory, it pisses me off so much because, again, we've gone from this united fan group being split. Star Wars Theory's got a big voice. If somebody went to Star Wars Theory and goes, oh, Raging Rhino made a video about you, you know what the fuck he'd say? Who the fuck is Raging Rhino? You got 2.2 million subscribers to your channel, and basically you just said that every Star Wars fan has their own agenda. You're the one with the fucking agenda. You're the one that went from hating The Last Jedi to loving The Rise of Skywalker and trying to make it mesh together. Sam Witwer, what he was saying there, it wasn't actually that bad, but the fact that he's just trying to defend them, when I say them, Disney, taking down these videos and changing the episodes because of time, the length of the episode. And, you know what it was? Disney can't portray Padme being this sexy, beautiful woman, and they can't have a torture and a death scene because they have to don't tell me there's no censorship. I'm not fucking stupid. Star Wars Theory, fuck off. And Disney, fuck off.